Hey guys, Chef Evan Rilling. I'm really excited to be back. I just got back from a super amazing surf trip, some of the best waves of my life. I was eating fish every day actually, twice a day most of the time, ceviche and then grilled fish for dinner. So I got inspired to teach you guys a super easy, simple fish recipe. But before we get into that, I wanted to share a couple clips from the surf trip, so check it out. Coming back to Bali to teach you guys about cooking some fish. So yeah, just got back from a wonderful surf trip and we're gonna jump in the kitchen, so I'll see you guys over there. Actually, the outdoor kitchen. I hope you guys love the surf clips. I had a great adventure, really amazing time. And cooking is really an adventure for me. I'm always learning new things, going on trips to find new foods and exploring. That's really like what got me so interested in loving cooking. So I have another special treat. This morning we went to the local fish market, full-on adventure. It was a market I've never been to. It was kind of crazy actually, just like to see all the cool fish, everything going on. So we made a little cut and edit just for you guys, so check it out. I hope you enjoy. Hey guys, good morning. Chef Evan Rilling here. I just got back from a really amazing surf trip, so I was spending like hours every day in the ocean, also eating a lot of fresh fish because there's a fishing village there. So I got inspired to go on an adventure with you guys to a local fish market. It's about 6:30 in the morning and we're gonna head to a local market. It's one I've never been to, so it's gonna be a cool adventure and I really want to inspire you guys to go to local markets and markets you've never been to before. And a few of the reasons for that is at local markets you can find some of the freshest ingredients. It's a great place to learn, meet new people to learn from, and it's just an awesome adventure, cool experience. So I'm going to show you a few things I'm going to bring on the adventure. So got a little ice chest here so I can chuck the fish in there, and in my ice chest right now just some water so I'm hydrated when I'm filming so I can talk to you guys. I got some bags, reusable bags, so just a few cloth ones and a couple plastic bags here. So I do that to minimize trash, minimize waste. I had some ice packs, so I threw a few of those in. So once I get the fish, it's just going to be most likely the fish in this ice chest. And if you don't have an ice chest, no worries. You can always ask for ice at the fish market. And I'm excited to go. So let's pack it up, and we're gonna head out for the adventure. So back in there. In Bali, most people ride motorbikes, so we're gonna hop on the motorbikes, find the market, find the fish, bring it back, cook an amazing dinner. I'll see you on the road. Alright guys, so we're on our way to the fish market. We saw some boats pulling up on the beach, so we're gonna cruise over here and see if they have fresh fish right off the boat. So follow me this way. So where's the best place to get fresh local fish?
Okay, maybe the fresh one, so better you can find. So the first time coming from the bush.
Okay.
So that's the best fish. Yeah.
And what's the best way to check to see how fresh it is?
Maybe,
like I always smell.
Maybe smell.
Anything else you
maybe
check for?
The color, if you touch.
Like firm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that.
And
So
you look at the eyes too? Or?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So maybe sometimes if the fish is fresh, so the eyes is still black. Yeah.
Still black?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe if not fresh, the color of the eyes maybe a little bit white.
And what about the gills? Do you look at the gills?
Yeah.
Or?
Also, maybe red.
More red. Okay.
More red.
Okay. So for fresh fish, you want to feel how firm it is. You can smell it. If it smells fishy, it's not fresh. And then he said to look at the eyes. So if the eyes are like clear and black still, that's good. If they have like a white gloss over them, it's not as fresh. And the gills, you're looking for like kind of a bright red color. So we're gonna go back, check out the fish market. We just got some awesome knowledge. Always ask the locals, it's the best way to learn. Thank you, brother. The big tuna is a lot better than the little one, but we're looking for maybe like a white fish, something we can cook in the pan. So that's not quite what we want, but I know that's a very popular fish in the Indonesian culture. So we'll see if what else we can find. So let's go back over here. There's tons of fish everywhere, but we're looking for something more like a snapper, a white fish. And we're kind of exploring all the parts of the market. I think a lot of this fish is getting like shipped out to other parts of the island or potentially other locations. So we're gonna check out up here and we're just gonna cruise around and see what we can find. So let's go. We just found a new kind of fish we've never tried. And check it out over here. I think we're gonna give this guy a try. I might even buy a few kinds of fish because I don't know all these fish, so I'm just gonna learn new stuff. We'll see how they taste, but I also want to get at least like one snapper because I know you guys can get that in Mexico. So check this guy out here. All right guys, so we just found another section of the fish market. I forgot to mention earlier, what I like to do is just walk around, check everything out before choosing to buy something, and I'm excited to see what we can find, so let's check it out. So there's a lot of red snapper in here, and all kinds of crazy cool fish. We got a sea bass here. Smell it, that doesn't smell very fishy. I'm gonna ask him if he'll scale it and gut it for us, because we're just gonna cook it up in the pan. So if you can have them do that kind of stuff, like scale, gut, debone for you at the market, it saves you a lot of time when you're at home. So let's see if he'll do it for us, and we're gonna get one of these. Thank you, brother. So we just did a walkthrough of the market. We saw a ton of really cool fish, cool shellfish, shrimps, prawns, and we also saw some really nice red snappers. So we're gonna get a red snapper. I'm gonna show you a super simple, easy way to cook it up in a Royal Prestige pan. So let's go get some. Yeah, it smells fresh.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. So we got the fish here in the bag. That was a super wild experience. I'm looking forward to going back, learning more. A lot of really cool stuff. We're gonna pack it up. I'm gonna chuck it in the cooler, and we're gonna head back home. We're just on our way back from the fish market, and we stopped at a local produce market. We're gonna get some veggies to cook dinner, so come on this way. What I'm looking for is like some fresh herbs. I'm thinking about doing like some green beans. I'm gonna do a sambal, which is like similar to a salsa, but it's kind of like Indonesia's version of a salsa. So these tomatoes look nice and red and ripe. So I can feel they have a good vibration. And I'm gonna get some. Hello.
Hello.
Can I get some of these? I already have some of the ingredients at home, but I'm gonna get some green beans. With green beans, the smaller and like younger they are, the more tender and delicious. These aren't super small, but they're smaller than the other ones I've seen, so I'm gonna grab 2 packs of green beans. And it's kind of nice if you can get them not in the plastic, because then you can actually choose the ones you want, but these look pretty nice. And then there's some basil there, so I'm gonna get some basil. We'll make a sauce with that. Hello.
Hello.
Phew. All right, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back from the fish market. I got the fish in here. So I'm gonna cook this up tonight in the live cooking class. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it out of these bags, rinse it, and I'll put it in either a Ziploc or on a plate, and I'm gonna chuck it in the fridge. You just wanna make sure your fridge is nice and cold so it keeps it nice and fresh. Thank you guys for going on the adventure with me. I encourage you to go to local markets, go on adventures, make eating fun, exciting, and adventurous. We'll see you tonight. Woo! Hey friends, Chef Evan Rilling. We just got back from the fish market and it was an awesome adventure. I hope you guys loved the video. Something I learned and was reminded of is the plethora of awesome ingredients in the ocean. All kinds of cool stuff like new shrimp. There's these giant lobster, like crazy colors, and a lot of things I've never tried and spaces to learn. So I'm actually gonna look for a teacher because I'm always trying to learn, look for new teachers to teach me about some of that. So I just wanna encourage you guys at home, find teachers, ask people in the market, find places to learn about your local food. And let's jump in the kitchen, the outdoor kitchen. This is the mission. Cooking good food. We got the fish because they're fishing, and I'm wishing that you're loving this. There's no oven, kids, but we're gonna make it good. Here we go. We got back from the fish market. We have these 2 beautiful fish. One is a red snapper. This one they said is a halibut, or no, a sea bass. I'm not sure it is. In Indonesia, they might use different names. We're gonna try both of them, see how they are. So in the market, we had them scaled, so they took the scales off for us, and they gutted the fish. You can see here, it's all gutted and cleaned out. Anytime you can get that kind of stuff done in the market, it's really good because it makes your job way easier when you get home. So I'm gonna go over the meal. So we've got fish, we're gonna cook it in a pan, salt, pepper, coconut oil. We're gonna make a sambal, which is a salsa, or similar to a salsa. It's kind of like an Indonesian salsa. So I think you guys are gonna really like that. It's spicy, a little bit sweet, and a little sour and delicious. And then we're gonna cook up some green beans with, these are peely nuts. Usually I do this recipe with almonds, so you can use almonds at home. And let's get started. So starting off, let's look at our pans really quick. So these pans are super awesome. Royal Prestige just sent them over to me. They have nice, super thick bottoms, so that's gonna make the heat spread really evenly throughout. Like it's got a really nice weight. Something like this pan here, it's got a really thin bottom. And so what it does is it heats really quick, it burns the oil, and it doesn't cook evenly. This is also Teflon. So Teflon, when it scratches, releases chemicals that cause cancer. So if you have these kind of pans in the kitchen, I recommend you just get them out, okay? We want to stick with really good, high quality pans. And I'm super stoked on these, stoked to cook up some fish. So we're gonna get the fish going, and then I'll make the sambal as we're doing that, and then we'll head over to the green beans. Always remember to breathe when you're cooking. And I've got a bit of a Celtic sea salt. So you can see here, it's kind of like large chunks of salt. And it's also really high in minerals. You'll notice the color is gray, and that's because it's a non-bleached sea salt. Really good flavor. So we're gonna put some of that on the fish. So it's a little bit hard to get it to stick, and we can always pat it in if we need to. In here, I just have black pepper, fresh ground black pepper. So get a nice little sprinkle of that on there. Boom. Now I'm gonna do the same to the other side, but I wanna get the pan going. So just gonna turn on this flame here, boom. And I'm gonna use coconut oil. In these pans, it's cool, you can use less oil if you want. Coconut oil is a really good cooking oil. It's a healthy cooking oil. I like a decent amount. I'm like a skinny guy and I burn fuel really quick, so a little fat's kind of nice for me. So I'm gonna put a little coconut oil in there, get a nice coating. So that's gonna start heating up. So we want that heated a little bit because it's gonna help the skin get nice and crispy. So I'll flip these guys over. Shebang. A little salt on them. So you'll notice it's the whole fish, the bones are in there. So the bones are actually gonna leach out minerals into the meat and also help keep it nice and moist. One thing I like about this is it's pretty cheap way to buy fish. It's easy if you get those 2 steps done, the descaling and taking the guts out. It's quite easy. You just take them, salt, pepper, get them in the pan. So if you look kind of close here, you can see the oil it's getting kind of runny and loose. We're looking for like a little bit of ripples in the oil. As it heats, it's gonna get more liquid basically, so it's gonna move faster. So I'm just looking for the nice heat because I want it to sizzle when it gets in there. And I can feel with my hand also like above just to see how hot it is. Always remember to breathe, stay present when you're cooking. Patience is key. Okay, so one more quick thing I'll teach you guys about cooking fish. You don't want to overcrowd the pan. So I want to have enough, so I can see it's just starting to smoke, so I'm going to get them in. Hear that nice sizzle? That's good. All right, so now that the fish is in, I'm just going to kind of swirl the oil around a little bit so the oil gets under them. And I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit. I'll do it like this so you guys can see. So yeah, when you're cooking seafood, if you overcrowd the pan, you're not going to get any of that like golden crispiness, which is like my favorite part. Super tasty and it's just really delicious. So one thing I love is this is a big pan, so I can fit 2 fish. That pan that I threw out earlier, you could maybe fit 1 small fish. So this is a really nice big pan. I'm gonna get rid of this guy. So the fish, we've got on like a medium high heat. You wanna hear a nice sizzle. What we're aiming for is crispy skin, and then we also wanna cook all the way through. A bigger fish like this is gonna take longer than like a fillet because you got both sides and you have the bone. So I'll show you guys a bit more as we're going in the process. So it's medium high, you can hear a nice sizzle. I might occasionally like move the oil around. And look at that fish. Super beautiful, yummy fish. Let's get on to the sambal. So I'm gonna try and get the sambal done by the time the fish is done. So, sambal is like an Indonesian hot sauce. The ingredients we're gonna put in this one, we've got tomato, chili, garlic, lime. Kaffir lime leaf is what they put in. Instead, we're gonna put basil because I think that's easier to find in Mexico. And if you don't have basil, you could use cilantro. If you have kaffir lime, it's really cool too. So, I'm feeling like these guys might be ready to flip, so I'm just gonna give a little look. So, if you wanna come in here, Dylan. See that nice golden crispiness? So I'm just gonna go ahead and flip these guys. So I just use one hand and the spatula. Boom, nice and golden. Now this one's not quite as golden. The reason is the front of the pan is actually hotter, so I might actually flip the location of the fish. Boom. So the reason that this part is hotter is because heat transfers into the handle, so this is always going to be the hottest point of your pan. Woo! So we've got 1 clove of garlic here. I'm going to chuck in 1 chili. Boom. A bit of salt, so this is the Celtic sea salt. This is coconut sugar. It's a mineral-rich, low glycemic sugar. I like it kind of sweet, so I'll put a decent amount. Now, the pan's smoking a little, so I'm just going to drop the heat a little bit. Good. This is kind of fun. It's like full action cooking. This is how I usually am. I'm just like in the flow, cooking everything. So the salt and the sugar are going to help us grind everything up. So just get in there. So grinding the garlic, the chili. I hope you guys like my outdoor kitchen. I'm pretty stoked on it. It's fun to be out in nature. So we're grinding this into a nice paste. Big chili chunks and big garlic chunks are going to be really strong, so we want to kind of break that down first. Cool, so you can see there we've got a nice paste going. And now we're going to get some lime going on in there. These are a Bolognese lime, but you can just use a regular Mexican lime and look for the more yellow limes. That means they're riper. And these ones have a ton of seeds, so I'm going to cut just the edges here. Wow, this knife is so nice. It's a new knife. Just got it, Royal Prestige, super sharp. My other knives were kind of dull, so it feels good to have a sharp knife. So 2 limes. I'm gonna get these seeds out real quick. So as I'm doing this, I'm listening to the fish, smelling the fish. I'm tapping into my intuition on when that's gonna be done. If you can notice, it's sizzling a little bit less because I turned the heat down to give me a little more time over here. So we're gonna smash the lime with the skin into the sambal. It's gonna give some nice aroma, nice flavor. So we got those, these ones. You know what, because I'm outdoor, I'm just gonna go right into the compost like that. So I'll just give that a little squish in there. Put 1 seed in. And then I'm gonna chuck some tomatoes in there as well. So you can just cut this top part off like so. And then we'll just cut it into like nice little slices. So pretty similar to a salsa, but it's a little bit sweeter. We're putting the garlic in there. We're not putting the cilantro. I got a few more tomatoes here. Boom. Okay. I'm gonna give a quick look to the fish so I don't overcook it here. Looking good. Okay, so the way I check if the fish is done is I just open it up a little bit. I know it's not perfect, but it's just the easy way to check. So I'm just gonna go in like this with the spatula and give a look. Okay, so the fish is actually like still kind of raw on the inside, so I'm just gonna keep cooking it. I think that's really the easiest way because you might have a big fish or a little fish and they're gonna take different times depending on your heat and all. So back to the sambal. Get the tomato mash up. So, I don't know if you guys have looked at my Instagram, it's called Freestyle Kitchen. And I used to have like this cooking show I did. I only did once actually, but it was like a rapping cooking show. And I think I told you guys I was gonna rap once. So let's see if I can do a rap for you. When I was a kid, I never had some dolls, but most of the time I liked making some balls. It's not my fault, Ja, I love the salsa. Hot chili, used to give a wet willy. Act silly, act like a hillbilly. Oh really, y'all wanna feel me? We got the snapper fresh from the fish market. Got the grill, I got to spark it. Home is where the heart is. Now I'm back in the kitchen, my mission connected to the earth, and I know what it's worth. Here to serve this, deep in my purpose. Getting the sauce like a big boss. There you go. That's a wrap. So I'm gonna chuck a little basil in there. We can just kind of get loose with this one. If you want, you can like gently pick each one off or chop it up. I've been getting a bit looser in my cooking lately, and I like it. It's fun. So mix that up there. Okay, cool. So now I'm gonna taste it. So I'm gonna taste for like sweet, salty. I think the spice is gonna be good because I know with this amount of chili, but I'll just give it a little taste. It's got a nice spice. I want it a little bit sweeter. I'm just gonna put a little more of that in. Okay, so there we have it. Let me get this. So there's our sambal. Super easy, fast, beautiful, delicious sambal. And I'm gonna give another check on the fish here. Ooh, it's looking nice and crispy. I'm gonna flip this guy again. Look how beautiful that is. And I feel like this little one might be done. Yeah. So the little one cooked a little bit faster than the big guy. Doo, 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 doo. So once it's done, it gets a little more fragile. It falls apart easier. So just do a nice scoop. That on there. So the fish here, I'm gonna flip it over real quick and just give another check right here. And I can see it's cooked all the way through to the bone. It's gonna cook a tiny bit more once I take it off the heat. So I'm gonna pull this guy off. Beautiful snapper. I have this other pan here I was gonna cook the green beans in, but realistically, if I'm at home, I don't wanna do a lot of dishes. I'm sure you don't either. So I feel cool with like a little bit of this fish flavor in there. Might just get a little of that out. And I'm gonna go ahead and cook the green beans in here. So with the green beans, you wanna get the pan nice and hot to start, and they're gonna cook really quick. So I'm gonna get the heat up. And then I'll show you real quick with this little paring knife, really nice paring knife, just how I like to cut them. So this end here, I'm gonna go ahead and slice that off. And then I like to cut them at an angle. They look really pretty, like so. Boom. So end off, usually like 3 or 4 slices at an angle. Green beans are really good blanched, which is when you cook them in really hot water for a short period of time. It gives you a really beautiful bright color. But it's also a process that takes a while because you gotta fill up the hot water. You've gotta, one sec. Then you've got to put them in ice water, take them out, use towels. This is just like a really quick, easy way to cook green beans. So I'm just gonna hit a little bit of oil in there. You can see the pan's pretty hot, and I'm gonna chuck these guys in. Now, same like the fish, if you overcrowd this too much, they're not really gonna cook nice. So I'm gonna use both pans actually now. Why not? Overcrowding, if you're trying to get color on your food, overcrowding, there's gonna be too much water, too much moisture, and it's gonna keep that caramelization, and it kind of makes food like limp and not very exciting. So anytime you're trying to get like a golden caramelization on any food, you don't wanna overcrowd it. You wanna have plenty of space. So a little bit of oil in there. Get these guys going. Boom. So I'm just gonna wait for this one to get up to heat. Take a few of these out of there. Freestyle kitchen. Realistically, when I'm cooking, I'm always sort of adjusting in the moment, and I'm getting very connected to the food, touching it with my hands, watching it, tasting it. The more connected you are to the food, the better it's gonna taste basically, because you're putting your energy into it, you're building that relationship and the exchange with the food. And for me, that's what cooking is really all about, is like this exchange with nature. Nature is nurturing us. Hopefully we're nurturing nature back, taking care of the earth, composting, growing food, and being in a really good relationship with the earth. So cooking is such a cool opportunity for that. So So as you can see here, these guys are starting to get a little bit of nice golden color, which is what we want. So I'm just feeling with my hand the temperature on that. And then I'm also watching, I can see a little bit of smoke, so that's ready. Boom. And then I'll just even these guys out. So we're gonna put the peely nuts in at the end. Pine nuts, peely nuts, almonds, most kind of nuts burn really quick when you cook them. So I'm gonna chuck them in like right towards the end because I don't wanna have a bunch of burnt nuts. I want golden nuts in there. Bit of salt. So we'll just sprinkle it. I like to use my salt in a container where I can pinch it and feel it. Salt shakers, it's very hard to tell how much you're putting in. So I really recommend this kind of a method. Bit of black pepper. If you have a fresh grinder, go for that. I don't have one right now, actually. Yep. So you can see we're getting like a really pretty color coming in on there. Show you on that too. Nice golden color. So while those are finishing off, maybe we'll like do one nice plate here. So I'm gonna do the fish, the beans, and then we can put some sambal on top. Sometimes I'll just eat the fish with my hand and like scoop sambal on and get down like that. In Indonesia, they eat with their hands a lot. And it's another way to become more connected to the food, actually. The more you're touching it, connecting, the energy exchange is happening. Tasting. You don't want to overcook these. You want like that nice kind of like bright crispness. So I'm going to chuck in some of these. You can see these are like getting nice and done like that. Boom. So I'll chuck these in. I always like to look at my flame when I'm turning it up and down so I'm really aware of what I'm doing. That one tasted like it needed a little more salt, so I'm just gonna a little more on there. So now I'm pretty much watching the nuts to see if they're burning. I want them nice and golden, kind of like this right here. Yeah. Delicious. So now I have all the color on there. I can chuck them in one pan just so it's easier to season, make sure they taste good. I'm gonna taste one. They're good. So they still have a little bit of crispiness, but they're cooked all the way through. They have a nice color. They're gonna continue cooking a little more in the pan as well. So we just had a question come through and somebody wanted to learn how to do the flip that I was doing. And it's a pretty fun thing to do. So the trick, a lot of people try and use their wrist. You actually don't use your wrist. So your hand's pretty much like straight like that. And then you want to point the pan down slightly and just go forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. And if you start with something like a lentil, you could even put dry lentils in a pan and just practice with that. So if you spill, it doesn't matter. So it's that momentum forward and then you pulling it back that causes the flip. And ideally, you want the food to go from the front of the pan to the back of the pan. Like so. So hopefully that helps. Let us know if you guys practice that at home. It's cool to know if you're learning new tips, new techniques. And now I'm gonna plate it up. So we'll just chuck this guy on here, like so. And then we're gonna get a few of these beautiful green beans with peely nuts. Now remember, once again, you could use almonds at home, totally delicious. Oopsie daisy. What do you guys think? A little more? Is that a little more? A little more, okay. So I'm gonna put a little sambal on here, but actually when I eat it at home, I like scoop sambal on every bite because I like it so much. But I'm gonna scoop a little on just for plating. So we get a little of this guy. Where'd it go? Something like that. And then just kind of sauce it up. This sambal is so delicious, I love it. Boom. Couple of fresh basil leaves on top. This is actually the first time I've ever plated a dish like this, so there you go. So super healthy, super happy, low carb dish, fresh cooked fish, green beans, nuts, nice protein. We got the fresh herbs, a little bit of spice, little sweetness with the coconut sugar. Let us know if you guys make it at home. I hope you enjoy and love this and keep connecting to the earth, connecting to yourself and your community through food. And I look forward to the next video.